youtube.com/snapbolt, and I am here with another vintage cube draft. This is a sweet format to play, so much fun. Drafting's the best part. I am stoked for this. This pack is interesting. There's some good first picks. There's opposition. There's Fallen Shinobi, which I'm kind of leaning towards. Overgrown Tomb, which I don't think I'd take over these. Snapcaster Mage. Could even take Arbroath if you want to go into mono green. And yeah, I mean, nothing else really comes close. I don't think Badlands comes close to these. I think I'm just going to take Shinobi. This card's pretty messed up. I've kind of grown to appreciate this card over time. First pick opposition is really nice too, though. This opposition's so good. I'll try Shinobi. I've had so many opposition decks. Let's go Shinobi. Okay, we can Tar Pit. Go a little bit deep and go Cryptic Command. I like Tar Pit a lot. It fixes our mana. It's nice to take like a blue-black card and then a blue-black land. Just makes sense. Golgari Signet's also pretty good. But yeah, I think I want to just take Tar Pit and move on. All right. I mean, there's a Venser. I might just take Liliana. I'm not the biggest fan of Liliana, but worst case, it's a 3-mana Edict, and that's worst case scenario. For some decks, it just can be pretty backbreaking. Pickering like Lumbering Falls or even Mox Diamond isn't bad, but I think it's between Venser and Lily, and I think I'm going Lily. Okay. This does not seem like a Dark Petition deck. I mean, I don't actually like Reanimator that much, but could take Una's Prowler considering I already have Liliana. This is a good discard outlet, and this is a good discard outlet. Alternatively, I can just take Spell Pierce. I think I'm going to take Spell Pierce. Let's see. I don't know if Prowler's going to wheel. This pack's kind of weak. There's like Nature's Claim, Llanowar, Land, Omnath maybe, Parallax Wave maybe. It's unlikely Prowler's going to wheel. I don't even like Reanimator all that much though. I think I'll just take Spell Pierce. Oh, of course, I get past these two. Oh man. Brand is the best card to reanimate with. I still could be some type of reanimator, but I could also just be blue-black control, which I think is better than reanimator anyway. Riftwing's also a nice one, but Scarab God is very, very good. And having Scarab God, Fallen Shinobi, Tar Pit, Lily, that's a strong start. I mean, Spell Pierce is good too, but these are just good cards. Okay. I thought this Dark Ritual was an Entomb for a second, and I was like, oh, should have just dove into Reanimator. I mean, Bone Shredder's not a very good card. It could end up making our deck. Other than that, like, what are we really taking? I mean, I guess I could just take Dark Ritual, and like, I could, I can play these other spells. You know what, I'm gonna do that. I don't typically do this, but maybe if I get like a Grave Titan and stuff too, I can just play like a turn 1 Lily, a turn 3 Scarab God or Shinobi, turn 4 Grave Titan with Dark Ritual. It's not, it's not great, but it's an interesting use of Dark Ritual, and I don't think Bone Shredder is even like that great of a card overall. So I'm down to take Dark Ritual there. Here we can take Murderous Rider, strong card, Torrential Gear Hulk, which I do like. It's another expensive card though, or I could just take Basalt Monolith. I don't know. I don't even know if Monolith is going to be exactly what this deck wants. I think it's between Murderous Rider and Gear Hulk. We wheel Cryptic. Gear Hulk is like insane. I don't typically Gear Hulk, but I think for this deck, it's looking pretty sweet. Wow, Workshop. Can't take Workshop. We could take Bitter Blossom. We could try to take Mirari Conjecture too, but I don't think I want to do that. There's also a Corpse Dance, but I think we're pretty solidly not Reanimator at this point. I'm not the biggest Bitter Blossom fan either, but I'll take it. We might end up playing that. I could take Kaya in case I. Oh no, there's a Liliana. I didn't see that for a second. Yeah, Liliana's great. Just a strong card. It's like better than it looks. Wow, Makeshift Mannequin. I mean, I guess I take it now. I have Liliana, Makeshift Mannequin. If I get Entomb and stuff, I can have like a small reanimation package. I think it's better than Reggie. I can Dark Ritual T1 Reggie, but I think Makeshift Mannequin is just like a fine card to put in your deck also. Even if you're not Reanimator, I think it's just like pretty decent. Could play Liliana's Triumph. We have two Lilianas. This deck is looking sweet. The Cryptic didn't wheel, so we may want to be like a more base black deck with good blue cards. Because blue looked like it was kind of open, then it dried up real quick. Wow, Prowler did wheel. Okay, so now it's time to think about being like more solidly Reanimator. Now that this wheeled, we know nobody at the table most likely is Reanimator. Again, I don't really like this archetype, but let's do it. Black is just wide open for our seat. That doesn't mean we need to disregard our blue cards. We have a blue fixing land already, and we have two like really solid blue cards. We don't necessarily need to play Gearhulk Spell Pierce, but we should at least splash Shinobi and Scarab God, I think. And there's Ancestral. Nice. Unfortunately, the Underground Sea is here. We have to take Ancestral. There's like no question. This is basically like top 2 card, maybe top 3 card, but maybe even best card. Some people who I like, really respect and like value their opinions of, uh, if I ask them, would you take pack one, pick one, Ancestral or Black Lotus? And they said Ancestral. Also, like, would you take Ancestral or Soul Ring? And they said Ancestral. So I think some people would take Ancestral over everything. This might be the best card in the cube, even over Black Lotus Soul Ring. It just is so good. Hurts to pass that Underground Sea, but doesn't hurt too much considering we're taking the Ancestral. Oh, wow. I actually do love Mind Twist, but we have no fast mana really. Still okay. Still might be better than Demir Signet, but I think I'm going to do something kind of crazy. I mean, this card has also lost its stock kind of over the years. It used to be like one of the top cards. Like a couple years ago, I used to just love snapping up these late Mind Twists that got passed around the table. But Demir Signet just seems so good, helping our mana, ramping us a little bit. Just seems like exactly where we want to be. All right, there's good cards here for us. There's Unburial Rites, Bolas's Citadel, and Heartless Act. I mean, I could just play Bolas's Citadel. I do have a lot of kind of expensive cards, but still pretty good. I could also just take a Heartless Act and then like wheel one of these. I think that's what I'll do. I don't think I really want Chalice. Oh wow, nice. Ashiok is really strong. This card can just win the game on its own. Love me an Ashiok. This deck looks sweet. Nice. Blue-black land. If we wield the Underground Sea, that's no respect. Knight's Whispers also would be a nice wheel here considering how open black is. We might be able to do that. Hymn to Turok, Watery Grave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards. So I'm going to take a card. There'll be 9 left. Then 7 more cards will be taken. So 2 cards will come back to me. Wow, Teferi 5 still in the pack. I don't think we can cast it. But I think I'm taking Watery Grave. I want really good mana for this deck. So Creeping Target, Darkslick Shores, Watery Grave, Demir Signet. Our mana should be great. Him is really strong. I feel like we'll probably wheel just something like Mana Flare, Benevolent Bodyguard, or Seething Song or something, but black is so open that I think we have a chance. A lot of Tolarian going around, but we have one artifact. I think we just take a Damnation and be happy with that. Seems good in our deck. We're pretty controlling. We don't have really good reanimation targets yet, or we're not like that heavy on the reanimation theme. We're more like just blue-black control. So Damnation seems good, and right when I say that, we get past Entomb. All right. Now this is like great because Entomb is the best discard outlet. It sucks we didn't take that Gristlebrand. What did we take? What did we take over Gristlebrand? We took the Scarab God. I mean, that's reasonable. This is like one of the best 5-drops in the cube, along with Shinobi. I don't hate that pick still. I still like our deck, but getting the Entomb is really nice. I like Time Warp. Ooh, there's also Thieving Skydiver. I do like Time Warp a lot. I think I'm going to take it over Skydiver. I think we'll just take a Slim Gain in case. Is there any chance I want that? I don't think there's any chance I want Mind Desire or Legionnaire, really. I'll just take this. So this next pack may be the one. What's that? What were we trying to wheel? I'm not sure. Oh no, we have a couple more picks. I'll just take this just in case somehow we end up splashing white, but we won't. That late 5 fairy was going around. Alright, so right now our Gear Hulk. Oh, yeah, we didn't get the Underground Sea as well, which is totally understandable. I don't even think I like Field of Ruin. I'll just take a Bayou just in case. It's only pack 2. Looks like we have like a full deck. We can open a blue or a black Mox. Like, we are going with this deck. But yeah, our Gear Hulk can flashback a Mannequin, a Triumph, a Heartless Act, an Ancestral, a Spell Pierce, and I guess a Dark Writ or an Entomb. Right now we have 2 ways to reanimate. There was like a Corpse Dance or something that we passed, but right now we have Mannequin Liliana to reanimate. This card's interesting. It like doubles spells or returns it to your hand. Yeah, see, we wield Seething Song plus Benevolent Bodyguard. Just what I thought we'd wheel. What was the other card there? Not sure. Okay, there's a lot of good cards here. There's a library. Library can be pretty good. There's also a Shelldock Isle. I do like Shelldock a lot. There's Corsi, Portal, Karn, Vendilion Click. Don't think I want Cabal Ritual or Orzhov Signet, really. I mean, Orzhov Signet's not bad. It's a ramp spell and it's a Signet that adds black, so it's not bad. I just don't think it's as good as Shelldock. I'm honestly just, my gut is telling me to lean towards Shelldock. It's a strong card. Our deck can kind of control the game until we can Shelldock. I think I like that better than like Karn or Library. I do like Library a fair amount, but again, that's one that hasn't aged as well as others. Okay, well, I mean, there's an Exhume. There's also Impulse. I mean, I do have Entomb and Dark Ritual. I don't really have any good targets to reanimate yet. Maybe I just take Exhume. I'm not too concerned about Exhume. I think I take Impulse because it seems like a good card for my deck. And then try to wheel Exhume. If I don't wheel it, I don't think it's that bad. Like, we're not really trying to be a fast reanimator deck. We're trying to be a control deck that can sometimes reanimate like something for value. I think that's a pretty easy Baleful Strix. Could take Ancient Tomb over it, but I think I like Strix here. Seems like exactly what we're trying to do. Draw a card, buy time, kill something, trade. Seems good. Ooh. There are some creatures that we can possibly reanimate in Massacre Worm, Inkwell. But I think I like just taking Karn. There's also Dig Through Time, which is fine, but yeah, I think I like Karn. I can wheel Inkwell or Massacre Worm potentially. I cannot wheel Karn. Karn is a very unique effect. It's a good finisher to have. You know what card I'm really not liking in this deck is Bitter Blossom. I just don't like that card very much. Just seems like a lot of times you're like taking down your life total, and the flyers like aren't necessarily getting there. I think Muldrifter looks good. Good card for this deck. Just good card advantage. You can evoke it and then reanimate it. You can just cast it. Seems strong. Emery can be kind of like interesting in these decks because you can Emery and then you mill for and then you can reanimate. But we don't really have any artifacts to make it to reduce the cost. So let's just Muldrifter. All right, so this is 23 playables right now. So this is a deck, but we may be able to get some better cards, and we do. We get Counterspell. Counterspell is very, very good. It's definitely better than Wishclaw Talisman, not close. Again, we're not trying to be Turbo Reanimator at all. This deck looks sweet. All right, I mean, what do we have to Seagate Stormcaller? We have Ancestral, Bloodchief's Thirst, I guess Dark Ritual, Entomb, Triumph, Heartless Act, Impulse. It's a lot of stuff. I don't really like Freebooter too much, so I think I just take this. I don't like Show and Tell either. This is like 3 mana, you lose the game. They just get to put something good in and then you die. Ooh. Wow, Grim Monolith this late? This pack is insane. Shieldred, Olamog, Urza, Grim Monolith, Fatal Push. We want all of those cards. I cannot resist passing Grim Monolith. It's like 2 mana, and then on turn 3 you have 6 mana. It's so good. I mean, Shieldred's such a nice one to reanimate though. I think it's between those two, but I think it's Grim Monolith. Just playing our 5-drops early is just so good. People are gonna anybody watching is gonna hate me for that, but Grim Monolith is also just, in my defense, it's literally my favorite Magic card of all time. I just love the flavor. I love the art. I've had just like a ton of fun playing with it. It's just my favorite card. I think I just take an Orzhov Signet. May or may not play it. I don't know if I actually really need Karn. I don't have that many artifacts to turn it on or that much fast mana. But I might play an Orzhov Signet actually. Don't think I'll start the Nighthawk Scavenger, but I'll sideboard it. Maybe some way I want to Mutavault. Oh, nice. We get our choice of Inkwell and Massacre Worm. Usually I like Inkwell, but I think I take Massacre Worm because I can actually just cast Massacre Worm. Yeah. Notice that we also didn't get Exhume, which is kind of weird. I thought we would. This deck looks great though. I have to think about exactly how we're going to build it. Gonna have to make some cuts. I have to look at exactly, well, that was weird. Exactly what our reanimation package is here. This is 28 cards. So let me just see here. I think this is our entirety of our reanimation package. So I think I just don't really want to be reanimator at all. I could potentially play Makeshift Mannequin. I can also play Massacre Worm just to play it because it can be a strong card. But I think if I just don't play Entomb, maybe, I know I can Dark Ritual out stuff early like I was saying, like a turn 1 Lily, but overall I don't think I really need that. And if I cut these, the weaker like discard outlets and reanimation type cards, I think my deck just becomes much stronger. I have 6 creatures, so I don't even have that many targets for Makeshift Mannequin. And Scarab God doesn't even stay in the graveyard. So all I really have is Seagate Stormcaller, Baleful Strix, Mole Drifter, Shinobi, Gearhulk. I think I'm playing Gearhulk for sure. I have a lot of good things to flashback. This looks good. This is 17 lands. I like just not playing this package at all. If we had gotten the Gristlebrand, I definitely would play the Entomb. I probably would have taken Exhume and been a little more Turbo Reanimator. But we took the Scarab God over Gristlebrand, and that kind of guided our draft. I'm really happy with how this went, actually. I think this deck is really strong. I think this is the build. I was going to say we also have good sideboard cards and like Slinging, Scavenger, and Masker Worm, and potentially Makeshift Mannequin as well. But our mana looks pretty good. Pretty solidly, like we need as many sources of each color as we can get. So these are sources of both colors. This is black and this is blue. So we're basically going to need even. And I think one more blue is fine. So pretty easy build. We could have used an Underground Sea and or like a blue-black fetch, like a Polluted Delta, or even a blue fetch would be fine because we can get Watery Grave, black fetch. But happy with where this ended up. Let's go round one. One against Other Doe. Other Doe. Keep this hand for sure. This hand looks great. Blue and black mana. Monolith, Ashiok, Counterspell. Opponents on the mulligan. Our deck isn't like that crazy explosive. We don't have any Moxes or Black Lotus or Soul Ring, but we have good mana. We have really high card quality overall, and just our consistency and our card quality should be enough to carry us here. Okay. Opponents on the mull and they have turn 1 Signet. So yeah, this is kind of how we can lose if the opponents have really fast, powerful starts. We can certainly lose, but that's actually good. Probably just leave up Counterspell on turn 2 and then Ashiok on 3 rather than playing Monolith. I don't need to play Monolith yet. And opponent's already going to be at potentially 4 mana here. Yep. Swamp, Ancient Tomb, Azorius Signet. Interesting. What is this? I was going to say a Core Seed Portal, but it's a Thief of Sanity. That's scary. Really scary. I don't have an answer yet. If they hit us and then try to cast something, I can counter it. And then I can Ashiok and start plussing on them. Then they have to determine if they want to attack me or Ashiok. So, I mean, getting hit with this is a good way to lose the game for sure, but I'm just going to let it hit me for now. I'm not going to impulse right now. If they don't cast anything, I'll obviously impulse end of turn. So if they didn't want Damnation land, makes sense. Are they casting this face down card? What is it, like going to be like a Baleful Strix or something? Yeah. I think I just counter it. I could let it resolve and then impulse, looking for a removal spell for this. The fact that they get to draw is kind of annoying. And I have to tap out for Ashiok. I don't have to, but I'm going to tap out for Ashiok next turn anyway. Alright, I'm just going to do this. Counter my own Baleful Strix. didn't want them to be able to draw the card and then have more pressure on my Ashok as well. Daretti Island Marsh Flats. So now they probably have to attack me with Thief. Next turn, we can cast Scarab God using Grim Monolith if we want. We may also just want to cast Impulse. Look for like a Heartless Act for this. I think getting the Ashiok down is worth, though. Scary thing is opponent has 6 mana and the top 3 cards of our library at their disposal. This card is really good. They also got to play it on turn 2. Tap mana quickly. I think they want to cast this. Let's see what they got. Their own Ashiok. Okay. Man, so they're really exiling 6 cards a turn with this plus this. It's not good. I'm already down to 20 cards. I can play Grim Monolith into Mole Drifter. That way I can block their Thief of Sanity. If they have a removal spell, I get wrecked. But I think that's the line. Let's just start by plussing on them. Okay, we hit Revoker and Looter. Unfortunately, I can't Revoker Ashiok because I have one too. So I think I'm just going Monolith into Mole Drifter. Alternatively, I can just play Scarab God, take one more hit off this, and then next turn I can bring back like a Baleful Strikes using Scarab God ability. I feel like that's just a little too greedy. This gives me a blocker now. It prevents me from getting hit by Thief again. At least unless they have a removal spell. They get to hit me again with Thief and use Ashiok. Like, they just mill me out so fast. One, two, three, four, five, 6 mana. My Karn's exiled. They plussed and they hit a Shinobi. Okay, they can't ninjutsu this, but they can put it into play. I also have the Triumph, so unless they play another creature or leave up vents, I can Triumph this. Okay, now I can't do either of those things. So I basically just get wrecked. Man, just getting milled out by the Thief plus Ashiok is rough. Wonder if I have to minus Ashiok, Revoker name Ashiok. Might have to. Okay, there's 2 face down cards under Thief. Shelldock Isle. That's interesting. I feel like I just lead on Impulse. Try to again find a removal spell for this. I can also just cast Scarab God. Casting Scarab God does seem a little bit too slow. I have 11 cards left in library only. It's just Impulse. Can't cast Bloodchief's Thirst this turn. It's so brutal. And I can't. I also am 1 mana short of Seagate Stormcaller plus Liliana's Triumph. Oh man. I mean, I have to take Bloodchief's Thirst or Seagate Stormcaller. I guess I'm just taking Stormcaller. yeah, I guess I'm just taking Stormcaller. Not sure about that one either. I think I need to take this line. -2, put in Revoker, name Ashiok. Ashiok, Nightmare Weaver, right? Just want to double check. Yeah, he owns this, but I own this. All right, let's Shelldock. I can Ancestral, but I can't really because I have 9 cards in library. I think I have to just take Heartless Act over Ancestral, which is pretty funny. Yeah. Okay. I have Liliana's Triumph available. I also can't really block with this Revoker because I can't allow them to use Ashiok because I have 9 cards left. So I have to kind of leave this sitting here. Wow, Academy, interesting. They also have Elspeth, Sun's Champion, and a Ready. They're going deep. Attack me with both. Okay, I just take. I don't want to trade this for this. I could block and then Triumph, but again, I cannot let them activate this. Oh no, the rest go into the graveyard. Okay, yeah, so this exiles one and then puts the other ones in the graveyard. This is one of our own cards. Yeah, it's our own Time Warp. I think that'll just do it. If I had blocked there, now they get to exile, like essentially mill 3 more cards. Don't think we can win. We just got a little bit too behind to this thief. This like basically won the game by itself. Good game though. Opponent's deck is sweet. I already have to just. I don't know. I can't again. I can't block because then they just activate this and I'm literally dead. So I have to just take. I have to try to Seagate Stormcaller into double Edict, but that's not even like going to be nearly enough. 3 cards left. I have to deal 16 damage in that time. I guess I can Scarab God and then activate once, but I don't think that will do it either. Blood Chief's Thirst on our own thing and then activate. Okay. We just died to the turn 2 Thief of Sanity. I think I like just where the list is at. Let's just go. Their deck just seems like a lot of good cards. Their mana doesn't seem great from what I saw. They're just kind of like Esper with the Ready also. So let's just hope our consistency can carry us here. Sand looks good. I think I just lead turn 2 Bitter Blossom to get it going. Unless I get Thoughtseized or Inquisitioned here. Which very well may be the case. They just fetch and then pass. Sure. So I could go land, Monolith, Orzhov Signet, and then Bitter Blossom to get like the Orzhov Signet down. And then I have 3 mana. I don't think that's worth it. Can I also go Baleful Strix this turn and then next turn Shinobi it with a. What if I go Baleful Strix this turn? I can't quite. I would need to draw land for that. I think it's safer just to do this. Again, I could have played Monolith into Signet into Bitter Blossom, but then my Monolith's tapped. I do have a Signet in play, but I chose not to. All right, they go Signet. Liliana. I think I'm just going. I could play Baleful Strix to try to draw a land. I think I just play Monolith. Then I might get to. This, like, essentially guarantees I can Shinobi next turn, assuming I get to hit with this. Hitting with this card is usually like game, like similar to Thief of Sanity. This is just like a more crazy Thief of Sanity. Urza. Okay. Well, we likely get to Shinobi here. All right. Land is interesting. I mean, don't I want to just Shinobi while I can? I like it. I get to cast 2 cards without paying their mana cost. That's insane. So I think now I can just tap Grim Monolith, play Orzhov Signet, and then Shinobi. I can also just tap Swamp Swamp and then tap Monolith, Signet, and Island to Shinobi. I don't think it matters too much. I think this is what I do though. And then let's just attack. And then ninjutsu this. And then we hit 2 things that don't really matter. I guess I could have not played a land and just tapped Monolith plus the 2 lands, but then we don't necessarily get to play Orzhov Signet. So that was a miss on Shinobi. But the good news is I may be able to clear the way with like a Bloodchief's Thirst or something to try to get in with this some more. I might have to start chumping. And we also hit for 5, so not bad. Oh, they spun and hit Shinobi. That's pretty funny. I'm just gonna kill that. I can kill and then attack, and then they have to jump. And by kill, I have to use this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Okay, no plow, that's good. They could have Elspeth next turn, which would be pretty much worst case for me. All right. Yeah, I'll just stick to the plan. Four mana. Cast with the kicker, kill this. And then attack with all. They have to chump Shinobi. They'll probably block with this. Oh, they block with Urza. Interesting. Why do they block with Urza rather than Construct? They're going to reanimate this? Seems most likely what they're going to do. I wonder if I was supposed to play Baleful Strix on turn 2. The earlier you play the Bitter Blossom, like the more value you get out of it. Geist of Saint Draft. Okay, why'd they block with Urza though? Not really getting that. Do they have another play here? Oh, maybe they want more mana for Academy. That's the only thing that makes sense. Recurring Nightmare, Sack Construct, Get Back, maybe Fallen Shinobi, maybe Urza. Oh, Sack Geist, Get Back Urza. Okay. Now it adds up because now their constructs are bigger since they have more of them. But they're at 11. We have Bitter Blossom going. I can Liliana. Yeah, this is looking okay. I can even attack with Shinobi because if they double block with constructs, I trade for both, and then I can Liliana just put my Shinobi back in play. So I'm just going to attack with all to start my turn. If I draw a removal spell, it's also really good. Seagate Stormcaller. Alright, not a removal spell, but a good card to have. Just going to start by attacking with all. Again, double block here means both of these die. Because even though it's 6 toughness right now, when I kill one of them with Shinobi, then the other one becomes a 2/2, and then it trades for both. See if they just chump this or if they go for the double block. I like snap attack. Oh, they're taking it? Do they have path? What? That cannot be right. Letting me get this? No way. That was weird. They also take a bunch of damage. Do they misclick? This is their Ashiok. We milled Smokestack, Rakdos Signet to ready. Jesus. What is going on that side? 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Just lead Baleful Strix, and then play Liliana Plus, most likely. Tar Pit. Okay. Liliana Plus. Go ahead. I just do not understand the no block there. Like, do they have like a mind control or something? They want to take Shinobi, but that doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, they're at 4 now, and I have 4 power in the air too. Now plus their own Ashiok, work on their library. That just doesn't make sense to me. The no block there. I wonder if it was a misclick. Now opponent in the tank. Playing the Shambling Vents. Can they get out from under these Bitter Blossom tokens? They somewhat cheesed us with the turn 2 Spectre on the last game. We have a lot of answers for that in our deck, so we just didn't have one. But if we were able to answer that last time, we would have been able to easily win game 1, I think. But that could easily happen again. I guess not easily. We've only seen Ancient Tomb as a way to make that happen. Ancient Tomb plus Signet they would have to have. We haven't seen any Moxes yet. But we have seen a couple Signets. They're at 4. I guess they can't even really tap Ancient Tomb. Oh, they spun Urza for Chupacabra. That's not going to do it. So they can shoot my Shinobi or a flyer. Yeah. So I guess they're not technically dead right now, but I also get to play Tar Pit. So even if they survive, they still can't use Ancient Tomb, and then they have to not die to this again. Alright, they can Recurring Nightmare, get back Shinobi, I suppose. I guess they could get back Geist, but... Oh, they used Ancient Tomb? Did they mess up? I have 3 flyers. Oh, they have another spell. Time Walk. Jeez. Alright, it's not over. Opponent is at 2. So if they have like double removal spell and they shinobi and get something good, then they can come back. Alright. Definitely taking 3. I want to be able to block this at all costs. The Time Walk though. This is pretty crazy. I have 7 mana. Time Warp? No. 7 mana? 8 mana? Ugin? Ugin would be terrible for me. Recurring Nightmare. Oh, get back Choop, and then they can't get back Choop twice. So I can still chump Shinobi. They probably kill this flyer. They have 5 mana left. Oh, they kill Shinobi. Interesting. Okay. And then what do they play for 5? Some Mind Twist? Opponent taking their time. Oh, just Recurring Nightmare again. Get Urza back. And then attack with everything. That's not enough. They can't spin. Alright, and they concede after all that. Okay. Whew. Opponent did a lot there with that Time Warp. Or Time Walk. It'd be funny. I could also just play Bayou in this deck just in case I somehow like get a green activated ability I want to use or something, but I don't think that's really worth. I could Massacre Worm. I think I like to just run it. The opponent's deck is sweet and is powerful, but again, I don't think it's that consistent. This hand's a little sketchy. Kind of need to draw a blue source, but I think I keep. We have 3 lands, we have 3 cards. We have to draw more mana, but this hand is, I mean, this deck is just not going to be like that explosive. We're not trying to, you know, turn 1 any 2 drops or play 3 drops on turn 2 or anything like that. Opponent's on the mulligan. Yeah, their deck seems powerful, but a little bit inconsistent. Also, opponent used more than 7 more minutes than me so far. Okay, they keep 6. They play a tap land. I have to play island. Also, oh, maybe that's what I didn't wheel in the draft. Maybe I'm just remembering now is the hymn to Torok. That would have been nice to have, but I think I took a Watery Grave over that. Yeah, I don't really regret that. Signet. Winter Orb. Sure. Alright, not drawing island is painful. This is going to be a Winter Orb game, huh? I may need to just Mulldrifter next turn just to make sure I can continue to hit land drops. Ooh, never mind. I think I'm just going Grim Monolith. It's less mana, and then it makes a bunch of mana. Oh, they have a counterspell? Or are they just getting a land right now? Okay. So I can't Karn next turn yet. But I can untap a swamp, and then if I draw lands, I can Karn the turn after. All right, Spell Pierce isn't bad. I think I just pass. I don't really want to. I don't necessarily want a Mole Drifter tapping my Grim Monolith. I want to try to resolve this Karn. Especially if they tap out for some like bigger non-creature spell, and then I get to Spell Pierce it. Be nice. Then they're like kind of stuck under their own Winter Orb. It sucks if I do have to Spell Pierce something and then I'm not able to Karn next turn if I draw land, but it is what it is. Opponent also already at 14 just from their lands. They're just gonna pass. Okay. I think I Dimir Signet. I don't really have Counterspell up, but still a really good mana source to have in play against Winter Orb. If they just have out for like an Elspeth Sun's Champion, it's so good for me. I'm just hoping they do that and I get to Spell Pierce it. Ancient Tomb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. I can still counter Elspeth. I can't really deal with this Winter Orb. But it's really making this game take on a funky turn. Ready. Well, I can't do anything. I could tap Monolith and counterspell it, but I don't want to do that. All right. They're just creating a 1/1. Resolves. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can tap out for Karn. I mean, that seems good to me. If I go Karn minus get Ready, maybe I don't even care about Ready that much. I can go like Karn plus target their hand as well. This destroys artifacts or creatures. So they could sack, kill my Dimir Signet. Yeah, I think just try to tap out for Karn and then try to kill Ready. I can also wait one more turn. But then the problem is they can Ready, sack their construct, kill my Dimir Signet. So I think I'm just going for this. Okay, just snap resolved. Sweet. Karn in play, and they only get to untap one land. So they could untap Sacred Foundry, play Blue Source, and then kill my Karn with Fumarole. But they have to have Blue Source, and they only have 3 cards in hand. We only get to untap one land, which sucks. Okay, so now they could have Red Source. Same thing. That would also tap them out, though. Winter Orb just makes for such weird games. And us having Dimir Signet is huge. If we just get to untap with this Karn, I feel like we should be good. If we get to untap, I get to untap Island and Dimir Signet. Oh, yeah. Bitter Blossom. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to play that. Maybe not. Maybe I just leave up Spell Pierce. They didn't do anything there. Oh, they can attack Karn now, but now it's kind of too late. I think leaving up Spell Pierce is actually better. If I just can protect this Karn, I should be able to win. I don't really want to tap my mana anyway. So they can untap this. Because most big spells that could potentially get them out of it, I can spell pierce still. And even if it's a smaller spell, I might be able to spell pierce it and kind of screw them with their own Winter Orb. So let's see. It can be really hard to think about what to do with Winter Orb out. Opponent also running down on time. Thief of Sanity. Okay, I can't kill that. I have to just let it resolve. I can Karn and deal with it. But I couldn't spell pierce. Whoa. This is a non-creep. Oh, time walk? Okay, I was like, did I just pass the turn? So I just spell pierce this. And then I just get to exile their Thief of Sanity. If they spell pierced first, yeah, they just like get pissed that they didn't do this first. But that's kind of hard to read is the spell pierce. Or maybe they just thought they just can't beat this. Maybe they weren't pissed at all, but they were almost out of time as well. That was a sweet match. Let's go round 2. All right, round 2. We have a sweet hand with Ancestral and Counterspell. So gonna keep and even Spell Pierce. This is nice. Turn 1 Soul Ring. Uh-oh. So we just go Island Pass. We can leave up Spell Pierce. We don't need to Ancestral on upkeep or anything. Nick those. Okay, we're against Mono Green. This should be an interesting matchup. Carried. All right, well, I have to just let that resolve. It's a pretty fast start from the opponent, but I do get to Ancestral here. Do I even want to? Because I'm likely just going to have to discard. I think I need to because I can at least like Triumph. Oh my god. I was thinking Triumph and I just Ancestral the opponent. Oh no, that's game. I was just talking about Triumph and I just clicked on the opponent because I was thinking Triumph. Oh no. You don't even target with Triumph. Oh man. I've never done that before. Strip mine. Great. Okay, I mean, this is just so dumb. I feel like I need to go Island right here. I mean, I could just concede at this point. Literally just like, I played 1 mana, do nothing, opponent draws 3 cards. That's just not ideal. Oh man. Suppose I'll just counter it. Maybe I can somehow come back. Doubt it. Opponent's still with 5 cards left. I feel like if I just didn't Ancestral them, I would be in such a good spot. 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. I think I'm supposed to just take Gear Hulk. If I can survive to a point where I can activate this, I'll probably want Gear Hulk. Just feels bad. Feels really bad. I'm just gonna assume they're mono green though, instead like essentially mono green. Our opponent very well may not have had lands, they may not have had questing bees. We just drew them into all that. So I can Ashiok target them, and then after that I can have Gear Hulk up. But I'm down to 8. Bunch of power. Oh, I'm 1 mana off that. Okay, I still have Spell Pierce up. Pilgrim and land, and one of them's a mountain. Oh no, that was the revealed cards in Wake. I figured they had Wake when I saw playing. So they're probably mono green, splash red and green, or red and white. Okay, they can just attack me and Ashiok. Get Ashiok off the table. Okay. Bitter Blossom doesn't do anything now. Do I still have Damnation? I think I do, but I can't cast it yet. So I have to draw Black Source, like Swamp basically, into Damnation. I feel like I would have won this game for sure with 3 more cards. An opponent with 3 less cards. Oh man, it's just so embarrassing that I'm going to post this video. Alright. They're going to level up to 8. They do. Alright, so I literally need to draw Swamp into Damnation. I guess I could have flashed in Gear Hulk, cast either Triumph or Ancestral. Man, let's see if we can just win the next 2 and not have our punish really hurt us. Okay, want Massacre Worm in this matchup for sure. I think that's probably all I want. Do I want to bring in like Entomb and or Dark Writ as well? Just to be faster? Maybe at least Dark Ritual, maybe not Entomb. I can take out, I mean, they have a lot of dorks to sack. Maybe Triumph isn't great. Triumph, it still might be okay. Could also even side out Bitter Blossom as it's kind of slow, or maybe even Spell Pierce. They also make a lot of mana, so I'd have to catch them at the right time with Spell Pierce. I think I like this. Okay, I have Ancestral. Let's see. The good news is I probably will never do that again. Oh my god. Alright, I think I'm leading on just turn 1 island and then I could lead Shelldock. They're on 5 cards. I guess I could Ancestral the opponent. Alright. Let's just Ancestral target myself. Liliana's good. Probably just going land Signet next turn. Oh, they can level, and then it has a counter on it. Damn. Alright, I mean, I can just Liliana that most likely. I mean, I guess they could play another creature. Ooh, Shinobi. Shinobi is good. Let's just play this. So I hope they just go level. Looks to be the case. Perfect. And then I can just get their guy. Or their Sneck. Alright, so I take 4. And then I get to Lily. Now this has protection from instants. Lily is 100% better than Damnation as well. Let's just go Island, Lily. I will say I think I've done a good job of not getting tilted on my misclick on Ancestral. Honestly, I just like had gotten up, my girlfriend just got home, I was talking to her, I came back in, and I sat down, started the recording, and I'm talking, and then I'm even talking about Triumph, and I thought I had to target like a Diabolic Edict. I saw my mind was on that, so that's basically what happened. Not an excuse for that bad misclick. I mean, Obviously, I know I'm supposed to Ancestral myself, but it happens, and it's best not to get upset. Like, it's best just to laugh it off. Questing Beast. Okay, so they hit me for 4 and kill Lily. I mean, that's a good draw for them. The good news is I get to just kill it. And I can even deploy my Monolith if I want as well. Moldrifter, not bad. Let's just go destroy target creature with no counters on it. Play Monolith. And play Shelduck Owl. Suppose Baleful Strix is better than nothing. Sometimes you miss. Shelduck's not even that insane in our deck. We have good cards to hit, but nothing like Emrakul. Ooh, wow. Gear Hulk that is insane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9 mana. I think I just go land pass. And this way I can just not use a Monolith, and then end of turn, Gear Hulk, Ancestral Recall. I mean, this game's definitely over. Yeah, Cultivate resolves. And then I can even Shinobi back my Gear Hulk. That's just disgusting. Wheel of Fortune. Okay, let's go. Cast Gear Hulk. Target Ancestral. Not. Oh, I have to cast it right now? Oh, it's not Snapcaster Mage. I guess I don't want to cast it. So I could still lose this game. Oh, I have Time Warp now. Okay. I should be okay. Oh, how much mana do I can... Can this only double copies if they're less than 2 mana? Copy the next instant or sorcery with 2 or less. If it was kicked, copy that spell twice instead. I think you can still only copy 1 or 2 drops. Karn. Karn's got to be good. Let's see, 6, 9, 10 mana. 11, 12 mana. So I can go Karn, Time Warp. I'll do that. It's got to be the best, right? And then I can like exile their plains and then maybe even exile their mountain. All right, let's just lead on Time Warp, I suppose. I guess I'll lead on Karn. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Karn. Just start getting their lands. Attack. It's weird that they're playing Wheel of Fortune. Time Warp, target myself. Okay, we got him. Oh man. Yeah, I feel like we totally should have won game 1. And let's see if we can win game 3 here. Yeah, without any quick reanimate, I don't even want Entomb anyway. Don't think I want Triumph. Scavenger's interesting just because it can race a lot of things, but they don't necessarily put that many cards into their yard. I think I like this configuration against green. All right, game 3. We've successfully drawn Ancestral every game this match. Opponent on 5 again. Maybe let's see if they get bailed out and they get an extra 3 cards again. I know I keep talking about it, but I just cannot believe Anybody watching, have they ever ancestral the opponent? I don't think so. The good news is again they're on five. We have ancestral and monolith and shinobi. Like we have a good draw. They have a good draw too, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. It might be. It's a good card. I'll just upkeep ancestral. Target myself. Jesus Christ. Okay. There's Liliana and Massacre Worm. So they can make a 4/4. It's good. They essentially played a turn 1 4/4 protection from instants. It's hard to deal with, but if they don't play another creature, I get to Liliana it, even if they level a bunch more. So Dark Slick, Monolith, and then I just discard a land. I'll just discard Island. So no creature one time. Jit. Okay, that's good. So I can kill this. They can't activate Ravine. They're down to one card. So they just had bad mulligans, and we kind of bailed ourselves out of this bad situation, it seems. Definitely just going to Edict right now, 100%. They could have red source. Oh no, then they still can't because they don't have any creatures. Yeah, they're in a rough spot now. So I think what I'm actually gonna do is go. I'll plus Lily, make them discard their last card, play Mold Drifter, and then next turn I can Shinobi the Mold Drifter back, just for full value. I think I'll just discard Watery Grave. I don't need to take damage, and I don't need better mana. I mean, I could also have just cast Shinobi, but I think this is actually better. Ooh, Counterspell. That should lock it up. All right. The game one, Ancestral target the opponent into probably match win. Okay, they can activate Ravine here. But can they activate Ravine and equip? Oh, they didn't have another duel, so they can't even. Okay. Now I get to Shinobi. I got a Shinobi, right? Against that type of deck, it should be so good. Okay, nice. Strip Mine, cast Cultivate. Okay, we got him. Whew! Not punished. Let's go. Let's go for the 3-0. Oh man, I'll see you in round 3. Match 3, we're on the play. Can we draw Ancestral every game again? No, but we have a good hand. We have some early interaction. In Bloodchief's Thirst, we have Signet, we have Monolith, we have Scarab Gun. I'm gonna say, are we going to be against some red aggressive deck? Doesn't look to be the case. Spell Pierce is another good draw. I think I actually just Monolith here and then Scarab God with Spell Pierce up. Ooh, is this a Spell Pierce from the opponent? No, just a tap land. Could have just passed and left Spell Pierce up that turn as well, but yeah, like definitely playing Monolith, and now I get to T3 Scarab God with Pierce up. Love it. This deck is good. This is why your Monolith is so good, because it makes all your other good cards come out way faster. But if you just have all expensive good cards, then it's actually not as good as having Monolith plus other good cards. So that's why I took this over other cards I wanted. This card is just sweet. Oh, get wrecked, dude. Okay. I could just untap Monolith, but I'll just get Signet down, hit. Next turn, if I don't draw anything, I'll just untap Monolith then. Okay, a lot of colors from the opponent. There's just maybe 5 color good cards. Bloodbraid Elf into Knight's Whisper. Okay, I can Liliana's Triumph, the Bloodbraid Elf. And they're going down to 12, but they have a lot of cards. I can put Bloodbraid Elf into play under my control, though. I'll probably do that on my upkeep, actually. I'll just see if they attack. I'm going to Triumph no matter what here. Because I want a creature to be able to bring back and then scry and drain them. So if I just left up this, would it have been better? No, I don't think so. Oops. Can't target with this, so I can't misclick and target myself. So that's nice. Okay, now I go to my upkeep, and then in response to this ability, I activate target Bloodbraid Elf. I should have left up. I guess it doesn't matter. This isn't an instant. All right, so now I drain them for 1 and scry 1. I think this is a good draw. I think I'll put it on top and draw it. Play it. Get Ancestral. Hit for 5. Now it's actually good for me if they play a cheap creature, because then I can Bloodchief's Thirst plus activate Scarab God. But if they play something, okay, if they play something expensive, I still just get to Bloodchief's Thirst it. That was a turn 3 Scarab God with the Spell Pierce, which was sick. So I'm against like 5 color good cards. I think our deck is built. We're pretty well set up against that. I do like the kind of like cute play of side out Spell Pierce and things like Force Spike once the opponent has seen them, because they kind of have to play around it anyway. So if you don't even have it in your deck, it's like free value. But I still think Spell Pierce is pretty good, even if they know about it. They're a lot of times your opponent is taxed into like making certain plays where they have to tap into Spell Pierce. So can't keep this and snap keep this. As much as I like Karn, the Karn father, I gotta put him back. He's 7 mana, and we can only, or it's gonna be so long until we can cast him. All right, I'm just gonna go. I have this stop on my upkeep still. I'm gonna go Dark Slick, and then I'm gonna Ancestral during their upkeep, so I don't get it countered because they only have a green red land out. I guess I play around Force of Negation this way as well. But target myself. I think that's also why I messed up, is because I'm like thinking I need to do it on their turn. Let's not misclick this. So I was waiting till their turn and then I clicked on them. I honestly don't know what happened, but it happened. All right, there's Spell Pierce. I just don't play anything. So I can play Baleful Strix. I can also play Shelldock, leave up Spell Pierce, discard a land. Because if I place Baleful Strix, I still have to discard a land and I don't have Spell Pierce up. So I think I kind of like this line. It's kind of weird, but that's an easy Hulk. And then I just go to discard. I suppose I discard Island. Right, they're just not playing anything. But see, now this is actually good I could also play Liliana, but they might have a counterspell. So I think it's definitely better to just go Baleful Strix, leave up Spell Pierce, and then next turn, if nothing happens, I can play Liliana with Spell Pierce up. So this is why this card is so nice in this matchup. It just feels so much safer. Heartless Act, it's fine. Ooh, we have Liliana plus Liliana's Triumph for value. Let's go. Ooh, Opposition Agent. Okay. So if I search my library, they control that. I don't think I really search my library that much or at all with this deck. I don't have fetches. I think the other one, the one that doesn't allow them to draw cards, I'm blanking on the name of it. The blue, the 3 mana, 3/2 flash, and if they would draw an extra card other than their main draw step, you make a treasure instead. I think that one's insanely good. I think this one is a decent sideboard card and just a fine card. It's a 3 mana, 3/2 flash. You can get them. If you get like one thing, you might be able to just win the game, like if you steal their fetch. But I still think this isn't going to be as relevant in most games uh, as the other one. Ooh, Ren and 6 playing around Spell Pierce. And they can eat my Baleful Strix. Okay. I'm not gonna try to Spell Pierce just to tap them down. I'm gonna just play Lily next turn, eat this, and then get my Lily eaten by Ren and 6. I think that's fine. Could also consider to like just play a removal spell on this. And then Lily plus. Maybe that's better. Because then my Lily doesn't necessarily die. I guess I kind of like that better. I could also, and I also leave a Heartless Act. All right, let's just go Triumph. I know I don't get that value out of Liliana, but I still think I like this line because just being able to Liliana plus in the future just seems really good, and then not just have it die immediately to Ren and 6. Opponent's deck looks sweet, looks good. Anytime you're able to get like these really good mana bases and play a bunch of colors, you just get to play so many strong cards because you can take any cards of any color as you're drafting. All right, yeah, they plus Ren. Nothing I can do about that. JVP, that's good. I'll just probably Heartless Act that end of turn. Destroy that. So I know they have Marsh Flats as one of their cards in hand. I guess Liliana's not even that good against Ren and 6. Maybe I'll just tap out for Scarab God and then try to Time Warp after that. Still nice just to have Liliana in hand though. Alright, let's go. Yeah, let's go. I mean, playing Liliana just doesn't really do much, especially if they have a Raging Ravine. Oh, they have a counterspell. This is like worst case. Yeah. And I can't Spell Pierce it. I'm getting close to the point where I can Shelldock though. Shelldock and then Ancestral. Refuel. Shelldock, Gearhulk, Ancestral. They have 3 cards left. They can plus. Oh, one of them's Mox. Do they have a big threat? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 mana. They can activate Ravine. Seems like that's what they're doing, but we'll see. Colgan's Command. Alright, I think at this point I discard the Spell Pierce. They return JVP. Okay. Probably just going to go Liliana, eat the JVP. Just because I want to get it out of there. Okay, that's a good draw. Let's go land, Liliana. No, minus, target them. I know that, again, I know they get a free kill on this, but nothing I can do. Just a couple cards away from Shelldock. Especially considering I have the Time Warp. Bitter Blossom is also pretty bad against Ren and 6, but I'm gonna play it anyway. At least it like keeps their Ren and 6 preoccupied. Bitter Blossom just ain't the card it used to be. This is 2020 Magic now. Kill my Lily. Makes sense. I guess Time Warp with Bitter Blossom isn't bad. Yeah, opponent's deck is sweet. Okay, so they hit for 4. That's bad considering I'm taking damage from this. Something good? Ashiok. I think I actually want to Time Warp first, so I get more fairies out to protect Ashiok. Do they have another counterspell? No. Sweet. Time Warp, get another fairy, get one card closer to Shelldocking in this Gear Hulk. I think I just need to Gear Hulk Ancestral, target myself, and then go from there. So this only exiles card from the opponent's library, so I can't even target myself if I want to. But that's okay. Let's go land. Ashiok. And start plussing away. Just gonna leave both back, I think. That way they can't go minus activate Ravine attack. Whoa, hit 3 creatures. Fiend, Bloodbraid Elf, Caryatid. Yeah, opponent's deck is dope. They do have Bloodbraid Elf Mana Elite combo in their deck, but that's not the end of the world. Yeah, so next turn we can Gear Hulk off Shelldock. Knight's Whisper, sure. When do I want to try to Gear Hulk? I could just do it on my turn to draw cards so I can have more stuff to play. That might be worth. They shocked off Blood Crypt, was it? Does this just activate Ravine? Oh, Vraska. They'll probably kill Ashiok. Okay, well I can kill the Vraska if they do. So they can minus Ren and 6, and then I get to kill Vraska. I'm probably just going for Gear Hulk on my turn. I can draw lands. I can draw other stuff I want to cast. Removal spell? Oh, young PC. Okay, it's fine. Oh, wait, I can actually Gear Hulk right now because they went down to 19 cards. Is there something I should have played? No, I don't think so. I think I just end of turn Gear Hulk for Ancestral. Ancestral target myself. Okay, Seagate Stormcaller with nothing to do. and a Signet. Okay. I definitely want to attack this fairy at Varaska, and I think I attack this at Renin 6. Then they have to chump if they want to keep their Renin 6 around, which is actually pretty relevant against Bitter Blossom. And then I play Signet plus Tar Pit. And I feel like I do not play Stormcaller. Oh, they're just taking. Interesting. They want the young Peasy out. All right, Demir Signet. I'm at 10. Maybe I just play a 2-1. Let's see. I'm gonna have a 3-2 unblockable and 3, 8, 9, 10 power. So I would have a potentially lethal, but they do have young Peasy for blockers. I think I just play this and pass the turn. I'm probably chumping the Raging Ravine anyway to save damage. And if I draw like a spell, like a removal spell or something, I've played a lot of my cheap spells already though, but still just keep the Stormcaller at least one more turn. Oh, they fetch. Interesting. What do they have? Do they have like a Eugene or something? Yeah, activate Ravine. Oh, are they gonna just double activate? I mean, I'm blocking anyway. Yeah, double activate. So this is a good Raging Ravine trick. If you activate twice, when it attacks, it just gets 2+1/+1 counters because this says when it until end of turn it becomes a 3/3, so it makes it a 3/3 again, and then whenever this creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So it gives it another instance of that ability. So that's just a cool trick that not everybody might know. Okay, let's see. They attack with both. Interesting. So let these triggers resolve. This is only 8 power, but I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I just take and go down to 2, and then I can just attack back for lethal. And then I go to 1 off Bitter Blossom, but I have lethal again. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, I'm going for it. I don't think they're going to have any free spells. I go down to 1, and then I kill them. Mole Drifter. Oops. I'll just use this just to be safe. And math isn't too bad. Nice. Ancestral to the opponent, get the 3-0 anyway. Sweet. Oh wow, you get 2 QPs for a 3-0 now? Interesting. What's the prizes? Let me see. Oh yeah, it's 2 QPs for a 3-0, 150 play points, a treasure chest, and a friendly trophy. Wow, 2 QPs. It used to be 1. So that makes it a lot easier to queue for like PTQs and stuff. So I'm going to be doing a lot of vintage cube draft. I'm going to definitely record some more videos. This is youtube.com/snapbolt. That was sick to get the 3-0 with the huge misclick. And again, if you like the content, please subscribe. It'd be great. Thanks so much. Till next time.